Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Auto Terraformacraft. Since we couldn't finish it all last episode, I've been so busy with the blast furnace, I want to do some home improvements again. Add, for example, an automatic lime maker, automatic quern, way to make automatic sheets. And I also want to try a new crate mode component I haven't used before, which could be quite handy. So we have this storage here, or this item vault, that holds a certain amount of ingot molds. It's kind of hard to tell. Right now I can still display all of the slots, but this is 160 slots in total. At some point I can't even tell anymore just by displaying it like this how many we have inside. Also kind of hard to tell the exact numbers. We got stacks of 16, 9 per row. Got 5 of those. We should have something like 736 ingot molds at this point, but it would be nice to have some sort of a display that just shows you a number. And Create mod has something that does exactly that. It's the display board. There are two things we need for this: the display board itself and a display link to wirelessly transfer the information to the display board. So the crafting recipe for the display board is just some igneous alloy and those electron tubes we made before. And for the display link, I needed a couple copper sheets, an electron tube, and brass casing. Already made some of those and also grabbed some cogwheels and a gearbox, so we can try to hook it up. So I'm gonna, for now, just place, I think, the display board here on the wall. So it looks like this. And then we also need to spin it. But it doesn't use any stress units, so that's the good news. You need to spin it at least at 32 RPM. That doesn't cost you anything. You can also add more, make it larger. I think the absolute limit is something like 32 by 32. But I'm pretty sure we only needed like a single line or so. Okay, so now we want to know how much we have in the item vault. And ideally how much of the item vault is actually filled. This would also be nice to know. But because this time I don't really have a safety system, in case we produce more ingot molds that we can't hold there anymore, they would just despawn at some point. Then we could turn this off. It's not a big problem if some of the items despawn because we make them renewably anyway. But yeah, in that case, we could also switch to making ores again. Okay, so what we need is now a content observer to tell how many items we got in there. Just gonna grab one real quick from the chest. There it is, content observer. Not entirely sure if you can also tell from the content observer the fill level, but we'll see. Okay, so we place the content observer, and now we can attach the display link to it. Although actually we need to select the display board first. Ah, yeah, that's how it worked. The first thing with the display link is to click on a display board, and then we can just place it here. Okay, then I guess we need to select the amount of matching fluids. No, that's not what we want. I can scroll through. List matching items. Oh, that sounds good. There we go. 784 ingot molds. Okay. Other list matching, amount of matching items. Does that do? Only a number now. I guess it's kind of nicer if it also shows what's actually inside. I guess those are the options we have. We can also do full number. Not sure what's the difference between a short number and a full number. I mean, we can't have half an ingot mold. So I'm not entirely sure what that does. Okay, I'd also like a fill level. Should we maybe get a stockpile switch? It would be nice if you could get like a percentage number. So I got that as well. But I'm not sure if this works. Just curious. Because there is usually an indicator. Where do I place it? This would power the funnel. Just gonna place it here for now. Yeah, it shows how much of it is filled. So about 25%. You can also scroll to it here real quick. 30%. So I'm not sure, does this even work? The display link. Oops, that mistake again. First, click at the display board. Just attach it here. Container fill level in percent, line 2. Yes. Perfect. Just a better place for this would be nice. Just gotta be careful that the stockpile switch doesn't power funnels. Oh, there's not many options right now. So it was possible to squeeze it here in the back without powering anything ever. You can also select the progress bar to show the fill level instead of the percentages. But I'm a numbers guy, I prefer it this way, yeah. Also, usually I like digital clock over an analog clock. That's something you can actually also do with the display board. So there is the cuckoo clock in the game that I haven't bothered crafting yet. That twice a day plays a cuckoo sound. So basically in the morning and when you can go to sleep. But you can also hook this up to the display board and actually show you the time on a display board. So that's something I want for sure. I was thinking we could actually place a big display board here. All kinds of information, maybe fill level of the milk tank, stuff like that. I think that would be pretty neat, and also the time of the day. Okay, let's see. So either I remove the wall entirely, or we have it in front. I'm not entirely sure. Look better. Let's actually go with removing it entirely, because we can just hook up the gears from the basement. Guess that would work. Yeah, it's kind of seamless. I think that's alright. That's what it looks like from the back. It's okay. Unfortunately, you can't really place some sheets at the back to cover it up, but it's fine. Okay, so let's hook it up in the basement. Okay, so let's hook it up here. And it should display the amount of milk we have already. Yes! 398,000 millibuckets of milk. Perfect. Alright, then let's do the cuckoo clock next. But here's the thing that has been annoying me lately. Making those sheets. Like for the cuckoo clock, I need to make a normal vanilla clock that requires 8 gold sheets. So 8 ingots of gold. And yeah, making those gold sheets or sheets in general got a bit annoying for me, especially when I had to make the copper roof. So in order to craft the copper blocks, I need copper sheets. And a lot of other things, and it's just a bit tedious. Like the copper roof crafting took me like 30 minutes. Because what I have to do, I have to bring the ingots, then grab some flux, heat up the coal forge, then throw in the flux and the ingots. And then a stack of double ingots is 4. So it only keeps hammering until we have 4 double ingots and then stops. Then I have to take it all out and throw the flux and the ingots back in to get the next stack of 4 double ingots. And then I have to put it on the depot, 1 stack of double ingots at a time to get the sheets. So annoying. So I wanted to have a setup where I basically have a chest where I put in my ingots, then I have another chest where I can take out my sheets. So I want to set it up in this area. Let's actually see what we have below. There's a bit of the wiring for the blast furnace, but all I really need is basically to run a shaft. We can just take it from here. There's already a shaft. Yeah, to the other side. Should be fine. I also just found out what they meant with shortened number, so 3 digits. Now we're above 1000, says 1k, but I'd like to have the full number, to be honest. That's better. By the way, there's also an option to make sheets directly, so without using any double ingots and without using any ingots in the first place, actually. So you can just take the molten metal and a crystallization catalyst and turn it into a sheet and get a 50% chance to get the crystallization catalyst back. So on average you spend half of 1. But I'm not gonna go this route because the cost of the crystallization catalyst would be quite annoying right now, because it requires crushed bismuth ore and redstone dust. Both of which we can actually get from gabbro cobble. If you look at the small bismuthinite, gabbro cobble is something you can make have a stone generator as well. Then we would have a small chance to get bismuthinite and some cinnabar for redstone dust. But I don't want to build a huge cobble generator now and a crusher and so on just to make the sheets now. I think I'm just gonna go the normal route, but it's just another option. Maybe at some point we're also gonna do that, but not for now. Alright, then we definitely need another storage for flux. So just a big chest, I guess. And the question is, since we need to heat up coal forge each time, can we detect if it's still burning? Can we hopper stuff in? I'm gonna quickly check how the coal forge works exactly in creative. Okay, so let's have a look. So we can't use just a hopper to supply the coal forge with fuel, But we can use a comparator to read out a status. So in normal create mode, they would just have in vanilla Minecraft installed. Without the Terraformacraft stuff, it's actually called a Blaze Forge. And the status right now of the blaze is smoldering, so it's basically turned off. If you give it a stick, then it's fading. So it's about to go off. The burn time is exactly the vanilla furnace burn time. So for stick, it's 5 seconds. For coal, it's 80 seconds, and so on. There's different statuses. Right now, it was smoldering, which was a signal strength of 0. Fading is 1. Actually, give it a lot of sticks. Then it says kindled, signal strength 2. And if you even use bituminous coal, it's seething. So it's superheated in order to Terraformacraft. And we need this for a certain crafting recipe, so I don't think I needed it so far. And this would give out a signal strength of 3. But we can actually use the deployer and the mechanical arm to supply it with fuel. So we just need to put in like sticks or charcoal into the deployer. Let's give it a creative motor real quick. I guess it supplies it until you reach a certain limit. And just keeps it burning. Okay. Yeah, we could also use the mechanical arm. Could also show that. So you need to select an input and then an output and then just place it within a certain range. Could actually be further away, which would be an advantage of it. But for me right now, I don't really see the advantage over the deployer. I guess for more complex recipes, for example, making those big crushing wheels automatically. If you have a lot of different items that need to be put to a certain spot, then a couple of those mechanical arms would be great. But right now I think the deployer will do. You can also run this a bit quicker. It's definitely more visual and nicer to look at. But right now the deployer will do. So this could be a potential setup. You just have flux and actually just a hopper below to put stuff into the basin. I kind of avoided actually using any vanilla components whenever possible. The downside of that chute is you can't really pump in stuff from the side. And yeah, the setup here, the belt always requires some shafts attached to it. So the hopper is actually the superior component here over the modded stuff. Would be actually nice if the chute could also put in stuff from the side. I mean, there's the option that a chute connects to a chute sideways. So if you could do the same just with a basin here, it would be kind of neat. But yeah, the hopper is actually the best thing for this. So if you put in some ingots there, put it into the basin, start hammering it, then we actually just can have the output directly going onto a belt, and then the mechanical presses directly on the belt. Kind of neat. Okay, and here we get the sheets. Right, I'm actually thinking instead of using the chute, for the ingots here, why not just use a hopper instead as well? We don't need this belt as well. It's probably even better. Yeah, there we go. Back in survival, I managed to squeeze everything in. So we have nice inputs here for the ingots, flux and coal, and here the output for the sheets in the end. Of course, you also don't want to waste any coal by having this running all the time, and you also don't want to waste any stress units if you don't need them. So that's why we got stockpile switches and content observers here in the back. Now it was a bit tricky to actually have enough sides, so we can put a content observer here at the back of the basin. We're gonna need this as an output side. Then in front, don't really want to have an input to have it nice and visible. So we need to put in flux and the ingots from one side just with the same hopper, which is okay because I got a stockpile switch here in the back that observes the amount of flux we have in there. Still gotta do one more thing. Actually gotta set up the filter here in the back. So I'm just gonna take a bit of flux and click it on that. So now it just observes, oops, it's some dust is a bit in the way here. Now it just observes the amount of flux we have. Okay, and if you have enough, then we just lock this hopper here on the side, so this hopper wouldn't be overflown by it. Okay, let's drop the flux again. There we go. And here this content observer keeps track. I set it up with a filter if you have any ingots in there. So that's why we got the filter. I set it up for like 7 of the most common ingots in case we got a really weird sheet we need. Then we can also adjust the filter there in the back. Okay. Guess I got everything set up. Got copper ingots, try it out. Let's maybe do 16 first. Looks good to me. Can probably faster, we might be bottlenecked by the hopper input because we have to put in one flux and an ingot from the same side, but compactness was more important. So that's why I went with this. Right, let's put in all the copper ingots. Oh, this is gonna be so nice. Also actually gets rid of an issue ahead, so we can craft more copper blocks in case we need them for some building. And now we can actually finally convert all of the crushed ore I have here. It's actually getting pretty bad already to fill toolboxes, at least into copper sheets. So we have to use up our ingot molds first. Let's actually check. Oh, I had to turn this off. Yeah. Then I guess the next thing I can now finally make would be the gold sheets for the cuckoo clock. The copper I've put into, got processed into the copper sheets. Can just craft copper blocks out of this for building. Okay, let's try the gold ingots. Issue set up a filter. And it's overwhelmed. Ah, okay. Network stress too high. I always have to turn off the ingot mold production, just needs too many stress units. Okay, I took the gold, but I actually also need some brass mechanisms again. Let's see if it works with that. Yep, also makes brass sheets. Okay, it works nicely. I added a 40 repeater, so in case the basin is empty, we still need a little extra time to actually press the double ingot into a sheet and put it into the funnel. So I got a 40 repeater. Yeah, works nicely. Okay, then I can just saw this into the... Turn this on. The brass mechanisms again. Yep. That's also actually a bit manual. I have to take them off the depot. A lot of the setups I have, I could maybe make dedicated assembly lines that are more convenient. And then, like, the worst thing is the precision mechanism where I have to do 12 steps or repeat like 3 different steps 4 times. You should probably also make an assembly line for that at some point. Okay, but now I got everything. Cuckoo clock time, normal clock, let's make some igneous casing and a plank. Definitely have that. Okay, plank and igneous casings I should always have around a couple. Do I maybe have them in inventory already? Ah, here they are. Alright. There's our cuckoo clock. Apparently, there's also like a joke version if you surround it with gunpowder. It's supposed to explode at midnight. Definitely not gonna try it out here, but could be an alternative to the powder barrel. You can maybe try that as well. Okay, then we have to, I think, hook this up as well to some rotating shafts. Let's see. Maybe in the back, it would make sense. Where could we place it? Here, probably. Yeah. Oh, cuckoo clock. Now it tells you the time. Okay, I'm just gonna fetch one of those display links real quick. And select the display board. Okay, and then we just need to attach it to the cuckoo clock. Oh, there's even a stopwatch option. Okay, what does that do? Just runs a stopwatch now. Just have to select line 2. Oh, that could actually be useful. Entirely sure for what, but it's actually pretty neat. Not sure how to reset it and all of that, but I actually just want to show the time of the day, to be honest. 12 hour? I'm a 24-hour guy. Neat. 9:50. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I also actually split up the display boards. I was thinking we could actually, here on the right, display the fill level. As far as I know, if they're connected, let's grab another one of those. You can't really do that because it only has those lines available. Someone was able to actually split it up. How did I do this? Display board got split up, maybe with the wrench? Not entirely sure. After breaking the big display board, now you can actually select smaller parts of it. No idea how they did that. Be cool if you could also do it with a big board and just have another line here on the right. Okay, but yeah, the plan is basically now to also have a stockpile switch attached to the milk tank that shows the percentage here on the right. Alright, there we go. We're getting info of the time of the day, fill level of the milk tank, and some of the big item vaults you have in the basement. That's so good, actually. Pretty awesome. Okay, what I also did, I actually moved the cuckoo clock. Just attach it here for now, because it's also enough if it runs at 16 RPM. Not sure what's actually the lower bound. No point really having it attached to the fast rotating shafts where it uses 256. So that's why I moved it outside for now. Could maybe also have a rotation speed controller and put it in a nicer place later. Okay. I've been thinking something like this would actually also be awesome in the vanilla base game. Of course, it wouldn't fit Minecraft at all, like everything new that gets added to the game. But some sort of a steampunk update that maybe takes some inspiration from Create Mod, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest, at this point. There's so many good things I discovered that are just actually fun, like this display board here. It would be very hard to get this in vanilla somehow. You could use a lot of redstone lamps, but it's always such a pain. Nobody really does it, spending tens of hours in order to make a display just to show you how many train tracks you would have. It's just way too much effort. Something like this that makes it a lot easier would maybe be an idea, but it's always a nice balance that needs to be found between making things too trivial and making them too hard to achieve for 99.99% of the players. Oh, that's actually also really useful info. I attached two of those display links to a stressometer, and that shows me how much stress units we have left available and how much of the whole network is used. So I wonder if I turn on the clay making machine, what's the actual effect on the whole network? Oh, okay, so we need almost 30,000 stress units and 80% or 82% of the whole network if the clay machine is running. So I always have to turn it off if I do anything, really. Probably should change that in the long run. Definitely want to make a steam engine, but I'm not entirely sure about the fuel yet. So either kelp farm, or we could maybe use charcoal, but I think the bamboo farm is a bit slow for that. I could also just for now maybe add a couple more windmills. Don't think I can really add more windmills up there, and it looking kind of decent. So I was thinking here on this hill I could maybe have some windmills. But instead of a tower and the sails spinning like this, I would actually just place the windmill bearing vertically and tower up a couple blocks. So I have the basically the sails rotating around the y-axis. I think that could look really good here. Probably here in the highest spot. Then maybe place down 4 of those. You should have enough burlap cloth now to make that many sails. And then if you have at least 32,000 more stress units available, that would be a good idea. Turns out I actually don't have the burlap cloth for this. So each stack here is one max-sized windmill if combined with igneous alloy into some sails. So we got almost 3. But wool cloth, which also have some of, also each stack is one max-sized windmill. So we're almost there. I think I got some leftover sails as well. Yeah, we can make 4. So I just need to make more igneous alloy again to make all of those sails. I just realized there might be another really compact quality of life improvement there for the basin. So what I have to do here usually is put in half a stack of crushed iron, half a stack of magma blocks, then take it out, because otherwise the basin couldn't hold the products anymore. But the basin can also output to a valid container next to it, like another basin, like this. Does it work with a hopper? That would be awesome. Then you could have a hopper here. And just another chest. No! Ah, that's really unfortunate. It does work with a chute here. The chute, only points downwards. I mean, then we could at least pick it up from below. Why not? I guess just another basin here is also not that bad. This way I can just put in multiple stacks at least. Alright, so the basic idea is having structures like this that I just stack up really high. Can this now spin? Well, it does. It doesn't affect each other. Just wondering if this is actually built a little bit too close. Wouldn't it be better to have a bit more space? Have like one extra block in between? This might look a little bit odd. Yeah, I'm gonna add one extra block. And those are the last few. Okay, then let's head back down again. Now we just need to connect them all again, get them to the same rotation speed, and connect it to one of the shafts we have already. I guess it would be easiest to just hook it up to this gearbox here. Then I can just run a shaft straight through this terrain. Okay, I think this time actually I'm gonna use some supports. So I can dig this and immediately just make a tunnel, and the fourth block, maybe place some andesite. Should work, right? So andesite bricks. I brought them in a toolbox. Yeah, I can make a tunnel like this. Finally, so we got stone only, no longer any gravel or something like that. So that's also the reason why I've been actually digging, not just using the drills, because gravel still collapses with the tunneling machine, but normal stone doesn't. Okay, I got like 20 blocks left to go. I think I'm gonna get the drills anyway. Okay, there we go. Since the whole point of this tunnel was having a shaft, can I just take it from here? I just need one gearbox. And then we can push forward here. Nice. Okay, now we just need to dig down below the sails. That's what I already did manually. I think I'm just gonna place the drills now. What is this? 5 by 5? 7 by 7, so 49 drills. Drills are in. It's probably enough if I turn on one of the windmills. Might not be the right direction. Oh wait, we need a vertical gearbox, of course. That's the problem. Yeah, it's still not the right direction. Then we just need 2. Yeah, that works. Okay. Should probably stay up here because I gotta place more of the piston shafts. So while the machine is drilling, I could maybe give a quick update on the banana progress. Still haven't eaten any banana. This is the second season actually of those banana plants. This one here that was only 1 tall is the only one still that has some leaves on top. So if I break those, I guess I would get some saplings. The others have made a little bit of progress. They're now 4 tall instead of 3 like last year. And this one here even has, at the base, part of the banana plant that is wider. Not entirely sure what that means, but that's the progress so far. So I guess we're gonna wait another season if this doesn't work. I don't know anymore. Looks like we've dug deep enough. There's the tunnel entrance. Okay, time to turn everything on. Yes, this is gonna be the same issue as with the other windmill. Might look a bit odd if they're not synchronized, but we would need to overstress the system again. Okay, at least they're all spinning now. How does this even look now? Is it horrible? Let's actually look at it from a boat perspective. We go out to the ocean a little bit. I think that's actually okay. It's a bit different. Would have been maybe better if they were lined up, like 4 in a row, instead of like this. Yeah, good enough. I mean, it's only about the stress units. But I've been thinking, I definitely want to add the steam engine, but maybe, I looked into it, the stressometer can actually give a redstone output in combination with a comparator. So maybe we just actually turn on the steam engine when we need it. I think that would be a really good idea. So we got like 70,000 stress units available now as base load, and then if we turn on a big cobble generator or something later, it requires a lot of stress units, we just run the steam engine on top. That I think can provide like 150,000 on top, but of course uses up fuel. I think that's the way to go. Alright, you can also take a look. The tunnel. Might be bad at building, but at least the tunnel is up to standard. Okay, already added the rotation speed controller. Just gotta set this to 256. There we go, it's already spinning. Oh yeah, if we connect those, just need to make sure they spin the right way. It's actually so hard to tell. Looks like another gearbox would be required. Would slow it down, you could at least see it. Where are those gearboxes? Yeah. This is definitely counterclockwise. Let's just connect it. It looks like both are the same way. No, they aren't. In that case, we just have to set it to negative 256. And it should work. Yes, there we go. Let's actually head up real quick to the display. Check out the available stress units now. There we go, 35,000 available with the clay maker running. Awesome. Ingot mode storage is also at 96%. That means it can definitely now process the copper and gold I got. I guess most of the copper will just be converted to copper blocks and the gold into gold sheets. Next tunnel I make can definitely be coated in gold. Then I got a couple hundred crushed iron left as well. Can turn it into train tracks immediately. So maybe next episode we can actually expand the railroad network that we have so far. So we already have like 1,000 placed down. I got 2,000 more in chests. So there's some. Another chest is also filled, plus those 600. And however, I can make now. That would be an idea. Unfortunately, I didn't get to automate the quern again. So next episode, first we do some train tracks, and then definitely the quern is the next thing on automate, because there's really point to this. The amethyst I got that I dug out, where's this in the gems chest? If I put it into the millstone and the crusher, I get 1 crushed amethyst out of it. But if I use the quern, I get 4. Since it's so rare, I definitely want to use the quern, but on the other hand, I definitely don't want to spin it here. And it's going to be fun to automate it. So next episode. Okay, then crops. Are we looking? Can be harvested. Okay, more jute, more sugarcane. So that's good because I'm out of burlap cloth. Alright, so that's it. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.